Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to 11th PMI PMP exam preparation question answer session. Today, we will be talking about a different topic, different from Agile. Today, the focus would be on conflicts management. In last 10 sessions, we covered 100 questions regarding Agile, specifically targeting Scrum. And now we are moving towards people domain. And the first topic that we are going to discuss is conflicts management in people domain. So I hope you could see my screen. Is it visible to all of you? So same like before, I'll show you a question for 60 seconds. You'll answer in the chat window, write your answer directly to me, and then we will be discussing, right? So let's start. Question number 1 or 101. So I hope you could see in front of your screen. So your time starts now. Please read it and answer in the chat window. All right, so I can see different options. I can see option B, option C, option D. So Sana, you have chosen option C. Could you please elaborate why?
Because as it suggests that it's going to be a blend of both modern and traditional elements, so I thought that the best way would be to collaborate between both the people and then just ensure that you come up with a midway. So I thought collaborating would be a better idea.
All right. Francis, you have also chosen option C. Could you please elaborate why?
Yeah, I think since it all involves like modern and tradition, as she already said, I think cooperating will be the more of the best resolution towards this conflict.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, uh, what are the keywords in the question statement that helps you reach the answer like it is collaborating? Could you please identify the keywords in the question?
Yes, the brands modern and tradition elements.
Okay, blends. So
Yes.
it's combination of both, so it means it's collaboration, right? This is what
Yes.
you're saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I can see other answers as well. Amandeep, you have chosen option B.
Actually, Ammar, I wanted to go with collaborating. Sorry, by mistake,
Okay.
I did B.
Okay, right. Why collaborating?
Well, the question says that the two different scenarios, like two persons, two different views, and we are kind of coming in a middle way, taking each into the consideration. So that's what is in the collaborating conflict management.
All right. Okay. Troy, you have chosen option D. Why?
I did. Yeah, I chose compromising because we took a little bit of both. We had two different ends and we took a little of both, which is, to me, I suggest compromising.
All right. So you're saying like both the options are considered. So that's why it is compromise.
Right. Yeah, so they compromised instead of going, all one or all the other, they compromised and met in.
All right. Heather, you have chosen option D as well. Please keep yourself on mute if you're not speaking. You can unmute yourself whenever you want to speak. So, Heather, you have chosen option D. Why?
The part where it talks project deadline. Like it sounded like a little bit of a rush decision. So we'll just take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and nobody gets fully what they want. We'll just put a bit of each one together. That didn't sound like the full process of collaborating for me. So that's why I went with compromising.
Okay, right. Let's read the explanation and then we'll see what is it. And if you have a question, we can discuss that. So please read the explanation. All right, I hope it is clear. If I go back to the question, it says Alex and Jordan, they have different point of views, and the approach which is selected is partly based on the opinion of Alex and partly based on the opinion of Jordan. So this situation is called compromising, right? Where some degree of satisfaction is to one party and some degree of satisfaction is to another party. Right? Collaborating is different. Collaborating is like you discuss the problem, you understand each other's point of view, and based on the relative weight, right and wrong, you select one of the options. That is collaboration. Okay. Collaboration does not mean agreeing for the middle ground. Okay. Collaboration is doing what exactly other parties deserve, right? So collaboration is problem solving technique. That is different. This is compromise, reaching a consensus that gives some degree of satisfaction to all the parties involved. It is also called lose-lose dynamics, as you could see in the explanation. Okay, or as Troy mentioned, so option D is correct option. Right. If you have any comment you can make, then we'll move to next question. And just to help you understand, smoothing and accommodating, they are same, right? So do not get confused. Let's move to question number 102. All right, so I can see different answers. Heather, you have chosen option D. Why?
Because she still has reservations. It's not that she agrees. It sounds like she's just kind of accommodating to move on. It's not collaborating. It doesn't seem like avoiding. She didn't just leave. It's not a process of elimination.
All right, so you're saying the keyword is reservation. So she has reservation, but still she's agreeing. So it's accommodating. Okay. Let's take other opinions. Chinamis, you have chosen option D. Why?
D2 for me because it looks like she's just accommodating Alex's choice. She it's not compromise, it's not avoid, it's not collaborate, so it's accommodate for me. I just eliminated the three and accommodate looks like it.
Okay, so you eliminated three, like it's not compromise, neither avoidance nor
Avoid and collaborate, it's accommodate, yes.
right? So you used elimination technique,
Mhm.
right? Francis, you have chosen option A. Why?
I chose option A because eventually he had his own approach and then Eventually, he decided to support RX by giving up his own initial approach. So he's compromising his own strategy in order to accommodate his coworker.
All right. Logically, or the terms that we use in our real life, according to that, it makes sense. But accommodation means when one party sacrifices for the sake of others. That is what we call accommodation. Compromise is when some level of satisfaction is for both the parties, right? So here you're saying like one party, Taylor, right? She has reservation, but still she's agreeing. So it is accommodating, like she's sacrificing her stance for other party. So this is accommodation rather than compromise. Okay, let's read the explanation. All right, I hope it is clear. Let's move to next question. All right, so I can see option D. Amandeep, you have chosen option D. Why?
Well, option D says personal conflict as it arises from clash in work styles. So in the question, I can, the way I the read question is that the first team member has a different approach towards work, and the second person has another, like emphasizing customer experience and expectations. So that's why I thought D would be the conflict type.
All right. Amandeep, could you please differentiate between substantive conflict and personal conflict? Like what are substantive conflict and what are personal conflict?
To be honest, I don't know substantive conflict.
Okay, no problem. Mary, you have chosen option A. Why?
Yes, I think it's substantive conflict, so that's work-related conflict.
Work-related conflict. Okay,
And
there are two types of conflicts. One is work-related conflicts or task-related conflicts, like how to do this task. One person says this is the best way, X is the best way to do this. Other person say Y is the best way to do this task, right? Or this should be the sequence, or this is how we should do it. These are called substantive conflict. Work-related or task-related conflicts are called substantive conflicts. On the other hand, conflicts could be because of your ego, because of your likeness, dislikeness, hate, your self-esteem, where your personal emotions and feelings are involved. Those are called personal conflict. So we divide conflicts into two categories, substantive conflicts and personal conflict. Substantive conflicts are work-related conflicts and personal conflicts are relevant to your emotions and feelings. However, in real life situation, these two can be merged together as well, right? Okay, so Sana, you have chosen option A. Why?
Yeah, because there are also one other type of conflicts which are procedural conflicts, which basically people have conflict when they are conflicting on the procedure as to how the work should be done. And then substantive are also related to difference in your work task, and the groups have difference in terms of their opinion how the work should be done. So I thought that maybe substantive look closer. So I thought is the
Yes,
option.
procedural is same. It is substantive because procedure about the work. So if you read the question. The question says that the first team member argues strongly for an analytical approach. On the other hand, second team member advocates for a more intuitive approach. So it's about approach, like how we need to perform the task, right? So the right answer is substantive conflict. Now, if you read substantive conflict or option A says substantive conflict as it is based on differences in viewpoints and ideas related to project work. On the other hand, personal conflict as it involves the team members' personal feelings. So in this question or the statement, there is nothing that shows like it's about personal feelings and emotions or interpersonal issues, right? The issues or disagreement is regarding how to do the work. So it is substantive conflict, which is option A. If you read option C, it says substantive conflict as it pertains to personal differences. No, if it is personal, it means it is not substantive, right? So option A is correct answer. Let's read the explanation. All right, I hope it is self-explanatory and clear. Let's move to next question. All right, so I can see different answers. Heather, you have chosen option B. Why?
I'm between B and A. I
Okay.
hesitantly chose B because while I wouldn't go right to a team building activity, I'd want to understand the conflict more. So that one talks about addressing the tensions. And in the question, it talks about leading to personal tensions, which are affecting the team collaboration. So I think A might help you better understand the technical aspects of the conflict, but B would help you better understand the conflict. A or B? Sorry, that's not decisive.
A or B. Okay. Mary, you have chosen option B. Why?
So it's to arrange team building activity to improve interpersonal relationship, addressing the personal tensions between Alex and Jordan, because it says here in the leading to personal tensions affecting team collaboration and morale because of this. So I think they have to improve first work, maybe emotional intelligence, or learn to, present their point of view better, and listen and collaborate, and then, they can, I think progress will be way much better. So that's how I
Thank
think.
you. Francis, you have chosen option B. Why?
I have chosen option. Initially, I was thinking of A, then I realized from the phrase we say things got personal. So, to resolve that issues which arose as a result of this conflict, so that made me eliminate A, and I went for B instead, because with B, I think they can improve their interrelationship. They can improve the interaction ship activities, and they address the personal tension before they can focus on the substantive aspect of the conflict.
All right. So if I ask you all a question like, which part of conflict is easier to handle? Substantive part or personal part? What do you think? Which one is easier to handle? Substantive or personal?
Substantive.
Substantive is easier, right? Number one.
Personal, yes.
And number two, see, there's an issue at hand that you need to respond to. So you cannot just leave it there and go for team building activities. Team building activities is a long-term solution, right? It's a long-term solution. It takes time. If you are moving towards team building activities, it means you are ignoring the issue which is right there. So which is easier to solve. So rather than moving towards team building activities, which is a long-term solution that would take time, go for the easiest path that you can solve right now. So focus on the substantive part, solve it, and then go for team building activities. That is a long-term solution to help uh, bridge the gap between their personalities and stuff like that. Okay. So if you look at option number one, that says schedule a technical review meeting to assess the feasibility and risk to the new technology. So first handle the situation that is there. Once you do that, then move for a long-term solution. Let's read the explanation, and if you had any comment, we can discuss that. All right, I hope it is clear. If you have any comment, you can make. All right, next question. All right, so Troy, you have chosen option B. Why?
Because I mean, the turmoil is about who has the right, who has the ability to make the decisions. So I think in the responsibility assignment matrix, it shows whose responsibility falls where, and that should, I believe that would clearly define who has the responsibility to make the changes and decisions.
All right. So you're saying like there's a question about who will be making decision regarding authority,
Right.
authority level. So the right answer is responsibility assignment matrix, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is responsibility assignment matrix, by the way, Troy?
It's a chart saying that who's responsible for what aspects of the project and the different components of it.
Right. So RAM is like, if you recall, it is something like this, right? It has activities on the left. For example, I hope you could see. So here you have activities. And here you have who is responsible for this, who is accountable for this, who needs to be consulted, and who needs to be informed, right? So for example, we say project design. So we could say project design. Let's suppose if there is any other external entity, we can write that name, or we can write, okay, design manager is responsible for this. Who is accountable for this? Project manager is accountable for this. Okay. Who needs to be consulted? For example, a subject matter expert needs to be consulted. Who needs to be informed? Sponsor needs to be informed. But it has nothing to do with decision-making authority, right? The question is about decision-making. If you read the question again, it says a situation emerges where there is a conflict within the team stemming from ambiguity around decision-making authority, right? The question is about decision-making authority. Question is not about who is responsible or accountable for a particular task. So RAM or RACI are about, RACI is a type of responsibility assignment matrix that you can see in front of your screen that tells you who is responsible and accountable for different activities, right? So RAM cannot be the right answer. Okay, I can see option. I can see option C as well. Jayashri, you have chosen option C. Why? You're not audible. Okay. So Amandeep, you have chosen option A. Why?
Because team charter has I remember team charter has something regarding who would be making decisions and other authority levels. So I believe A is the right option because this question is regarding the authority of decision making.
All right. So who will be making decision among team members? So this is documented in team charter. So team charter is a document in which we write norms, values, acceptable and unacceptable behavior. We write decision-making authority levels, how decision-making would be done. If you recall, we talked about which decision-making methodology would be used, unanimity, majority, plurality, autocracy, right? Who will be making decision, meeting protocols, all of these things, and conflicts resolutions. All of these things are documented in team charter. And we talked about some of the values as well. For example, in PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct, there are 4 values. Anyone who could recall those 4 values in PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct? So you could see one or couple of questions regarding this in the exam, okay? So for example, first one is responsibility. We should be responsible no matter what. Second is respectful. We should be respectful, right? Third is honesty. We should be truthful. And last one is fairness. So these are the 4 values mentioned in PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. Let's review the answer. So when it comes to decision making for the team, answer is team charter. Project charter is a different document. It is for the formal initiation of the project. It is for the authorization of the project manager, or officially nominating the project manager. You use project charter for that. So charter is different. Team charter is different. Responsibility assignment matrix is different. Governance framework is different. Governance framework is the high level structure, like how you would be governing the project, right? Overall, authority levels of the project are documented in governance framework or governance structure or governance management plan, but team related decisions are documented in team charter. Right, next question. All right, I can see different answers. So, Yusuf, you have chosen option C. Why? Sorry, B. You have chosen option B. Why? You're on mute. Okay, Francis, you have chosen option C. Why? Am I audible? Everyone? Okay, Chinamis, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, if I recall, this is the contest level where it has gone a bit personal, where a party wants to win at all cost, and the other party has to lose.
Okay. So you're saying these are win-lose dynamics, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's why you have chosen this option.
Yes.
If we recall, what were the 5 levels of Lee's level?
Problem to solve, disagreement, contest, crusade, and world war.
Right, so you're saying in the bottom we have problem to solve. Then we have disagreement.
Yeah.
The problem to solve is a substantive conflict. Disagreement is when your substantive part mixes with the personal part. Then the third one is
Contest.
where win-lose dynamics develop. And then we have crusade, where you want to hurt other parties. And the last one is intractable situation or war. Okay, so you're saying since it says these are win-lose dynamics in the question, so that's why this is the right answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, let's see. Sana, you have chosen option C. Why?
Yeah, I had the same point of view that since it's a situation where one party wants to win over the other one, so that's why I chose the contest
Okay,
option.
right. Mary, you have chosen option C. Why?
Yes, because it's as mentioned, win and lose, and crusade, it's a fight. So
Right. So let's read the explanation. All of you are correct. It is option C. Let's read the explanation. All right. I hope it is self explanatory. Right, let's move to next question. All right, so Try, you have chosen option B. Why?
Because if two people are having a contact, that before you can do anything, you have to understand where they're coming from and what the issue is. So that's why I picked B, is to listen to each other concerns so you can understand their perspectives and kind of figure out, okay, where's the underlying issue? What direction do we need to go?
All right. So Amandeep, you have chosen option B. Why?
In the conflict management, they talk about firstly know the cause of the conflict and understand it, and then come to the solution. So the option B, as Troy said, it basically you listen to the concern of each team member, understand them where the conflict is coming from, the source, and then solve it.
Okay. But if I ask you a question, what's wrong with D? D is also understanding the point of view. And don't you think it's great to listen to the conflict from when both the parties are present? What do you think? Like both have approached you and they have discussed an issue with you. So what's wrong with D? Anyone, please? What's the issue with D? Try.
I didn't go with D because sometimes, if there's an issue and a conflict and you bring both parties into the same room, it's liable to escalate and they'll talk over each other and do that. So it's better to get an understanding, and then if you want to bring them in after to say, okay, here's what I understand, what I see of the situation, and see if you can resolve it. But that oftentimes will lead to arguing. That's why I didn't choose that one.
Makes sense, understand. But you see, for example, two people approach you. Would you straightforward say, okay, one go outside and one come here? I'll listen to your point of view first and then the other one, or you would listen to the conflict first?
Well, if they came in together, I would listen to them together. And I guess I overskipped that part of the question.
Okay,
I
right.
wouldn't dismiss one, but if there's an issue, I would talk to them individually.
Okay, right. Anybody else? Heather?
I got a little stuck on this one because it didn't identify that it was an agile question. But I remember in one of the other question answer sessions, there was a similar one, and it was to ask if they had figured it out on their own first or tried to figure it out on their own first. And I'm wondering, would that only be relevant specific to an agile team? As a servant leader, your job is to create a space where they can resolve their own conflict. And since this has not specifically identified agile, then we go to the next piece, which is starting to understand the problem.
All right, so that's not just specific to Agile. It's specific to overall a healthy team environment. Like you let people or you give them autonomy and freedom. And I think that's the right way. First, let people solve the problem. If they are not able to solve it, then they should escalate. So remember, from exam perspective, escalation of the conflict is the worst thing, or it's last resort. Whenever you see such options, escalation is the last resort. Whenever you have attempted all the options, then you should go for escalation, right? So first, for example, if you have a conflict with somebody, try to solve that problem with that person directly before escalating. So as a project manager, your job is to first make sure that team members have talked together, They try to solve the problem. If they have not able to solve the problem, then they should escalate, right? And also in this situation, we're not sure like we should go for option B or we should go for option D, because there is no concrete data in the question that says that, have they explained the question to you in detail? Have you understood the problem? If you have understood the problem, maybe then you can ask for individual meetings. If you don't understand the problem, then maybe you can go for facilitate a joint session. So there is no data that support if it is B and D. When you don't have data to select two options, you can eliminate those options. So B and D can easily be eliminated because there is no concrete data here. And another concept that I have explained in project management and from PMI perspective, encourage people to solve their problem first. Then they should go for escalation. Even, for example, if they are coming to you, you escalating the issue to the departmental head or manager HR, that should also be the last resort, right? So first try to solve the problem, then go for escalation. So let's read the explanation. Right answer is inquire if the team members have attempted to resolve the problem first. All right, I hope it is clear. Like if you see anything in the question that says initial attempts have been made and those were unsuccessful, then you can go for next option, right? Okay, next question. All right, so I can see different answers. Francis, you have chosen option B. Why?
I went by eliminating the other options, which I could see. So the performance stage is whereby the team makes a significant progress towards the goal. So I eliminated that one because they were all quickly agreeing on decision without thinking about it. So the group shift didn't make any sense, and the forming stage didn't make any sense to me either. So I went for the group think, whereby people think whatever I say is good option, and the people say agree on that, and everybody kind of don't go through the whole process.
Yes, absolutely. So groupthink is like people go with the option or the option that is chosen by the majority, just being a cohesive unit, and they feel more value in it, so they don't go for any alternative option. That is groupthink. And group shift is like initially team members, they have one opinion, but because of group pressure, they shift to another option. So that shift is group shift. Okay. And there is no data in the question that says it is performing stage or forming stage. So it has nothing to do with that. Okay. So right answer is groupthink, option B. So let's review the answer. In the answer, there is a typo. Let me just go there. So it is option B, that is groupthink. Please read the explanation, then we'll move to next question. All right, next question. All right, so I can see different answer. Heather, you have chosen option A. Why?
Because when they're still forming, well, it's definitely not storming because they're being polite, um, and pleasant. Um, I think I remember that forming that's the characteristic of the forming stage where everyone's still like trying to be really nice to everybody. Everybody's here. Everyone's being really, really pleasant. Um, I mean, I guess it could also be performing, but it was the politeness piece that got me.
Okay, so you're saying in performing people are not polite.
No, not that they're not polite, but just that there are other characteristics that might describe a performing stage, like
Perfect.
yeah.
Correct. All right. So you have easily eliminated storming, and between forming and performing, you were confused. So you said for performing, there are other characteristics. So that's why you have chosen option A. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I can see other options. Chinamis, you have chosen option C. Why?
So I chose C because numbing comes after storming, after the chaos, and people now begin to work together, begin to be polite, begin to show eagerness to contribute together to discussions and tasks. So that's why I chose numbing.
All right. Okay. So Jashri, you have chosen option B. Why? You're still on mute. Okay. So if you recall, we discussed team dynamics during the forming stage, let's suppose, and those were, if you recall, team members are shy, right? They are not sure about their role and responsibility. At the same time, they are excited to contribute, right? So if you see in this question, it clearly says like they are polite, they are pleasant, and they are eager or excited to contribute to the discussions and tasks, right? And as Heather mentioned, for performing, there are different dynamics. And for performing, what are the dynamics? Team is self-organized, right? There's high performing team. There's a concept of servant leadership, right? So these are team dynamics during the performing stage. So performing can't be an option. Storming can't be an option. Forming is the right option. Norming is where they sign team charter and they align their ways of working and they are improving how our conflicts are minimized, right? So the right answer is forming. Let's read the explanation. Now here I have given team dynamics in different stages, so you can read. All right, so this would be helpful to answer question regarding Bruce Tuckman team development model. So these are the team dynamics that you should keep in your mind. You can expect 1 or 2 questions from Bruce Tuckman team development model. This is important. Let's move to last question. All right, Anjum, you have chosen option B. Could you please explain why?
Option B. As the question says, they acknowledge individual achievements and express gratitude for the collaborative efforts.
Mhm.
I mean, this is after performing. Our stages are actually, the forming, norming, storming, and norming.
Okay, let me write stages for you, right? So there are 5 stages. The first stage is forming,
Yeah,
next stage is
storming,
storming, then we have norming, then we have performing, and last one is adjourning.
adjourning. Yeah.
Now tell me what you want to say. Why it is norming? Any keyword that helps you find the answer?
Mm,
Okay, no problem. Amandeep, you have chosen option B. Why?
In the question, they talk about collaborative effort, and in the norming, they talk about collaboration. So that's why I chose norming.
All right. So you say during the normalizing phase, norming phase, they focus
They're
on collaboration,
yeah.
cooperativeness. Okay, that's norming. Okay. Yusuf, you have chosen option D. Why?
Yeah, option D because this is a stage of performing, in my opinion. It's not other stages because they have collaboration and each person was commenting on the other person in a good way,
Mhm.
talking about achievement, strength. So they are augmenting each other, and this is more of like a Scrum team issue. They are self-organized almost. So they are commenting in a good way, saying the positive, encouraging everybody for a positive input. So this goes more with performing rather than having it in the others. They are not starter because they know each other. So they're not in the norming or storming even, and the form and even forming. So the other stages they don't have this kind of self knowing each other. So that's in my opinion. So they are performing level in my opinion.
All right. Thank you. Sana, you have chosen option D. Why?
Yes, I had the same reason that during the performing stage, that's when you celebrate the or acknowledge each other's effort and achievements uh, are in place in order to perform the project. So that's why I chose D.
All right. And Try, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, I went with D because it says individual achievements and collaborative that they're progressing toward the project goals. So that's why I went with performing.
All right. Okay. So during the performing stage, the team dynamics primarily that tells you team is in performing stage, as we previously saw, those are relevant more towards, progress, more towards self-organization, more towards autonomy, more towards freedom, most toward efficiency, right? So here the question is about they are recognizing individual achievements. Performing is more like, you know, teamwork rather than individual achievement. So what happens? Teams are formed. After forming, they move to storming. And after storming, team members, they start realizing each other's strengths and weaknesses. So after storming, team members start realizing each other's strengths and weaknesses. So it's more about appreciating strengths of individuals to align their ways of working, right? And as Amandeep mentioned, it's more relevant to collaboration. So collaboration starts happening during the norming stage. Let's read the explanation. Correct answer is A. So there could be a typo, but let me just see what are the options. Please read the explanation first. All right, so correct answer is norming, which is option B. And when team members start realizing each other's strengths, that is norming stage. Performing stage is more like, as Heather, her comment was relevant here, like there are different dynamics of performing stage, which are more important. There could be like that team member would be collaborating or cooperating, but in order to see a team is in performing stage, there are other characteristics like autonomy, freedom, servant leadership, self-organization, highest efficiency, most of the work is performed, right? So I hope it is clear. So today we had question regarding conflicts management. This is one of the first topics in exam content outline regarding people domain. So tomorrow we will be, or the next session, we will be talking about next topic in the people domain. Why we have started people domain? Because after agile, people domain is the most important section for the exam. So a lot of people, they have, who have recently taken the exam, they have reported that people domain is very, very important. So even if when you're studying for the exam, focus on agile and people side of project management, right? Meanwhile, if you need any help, you can schedule one-on-one meeting with me. You can simply scan this QR code, or you can visit my LinkedIn. You can find this code there, or you can find an option, book an appointment if you need help in application, if you are struggling, or if there is any issue, or if you're not able to understand anything, or any specific situation regarding exam preparation, you can contact me. All right, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you all have enjoyed today's lesson. So just quickly, anyone who has received or got 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so today's average is slightly higher. I can see the previous was 3, 4, and 5, and today I can see it's 6, 7, 8, right? Questions were slightly easier, right? And it's a new topic. That's why I started with relatively easier questions. But exam would be more or less similar. So you can see the question in the exam would be like this. Right. I hope you have enjoyed, and see you in the next lesson. Take good care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ammar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.